So the Japanese Grand Prix, it was supposed to be predictable, right? Well, it absolutely tore up the script. We're about to break down a race that turned into one for the history books, maybe for all the wrong reasons.
Kimi Antonelli dropped to 6th on the opening lap. Then a safety car changed everything. Oscar Piastri was leading the Japanese GP and lost the win to pure strategy luck. And Max Verstappen, a 4-time winner at Suzuka, finished behind an Alpine. Yeah, the 2026 Japanese GP just taught us 5 things absolutely nobody expected.
All right, first up, we gotta talk about the winner. This is the story of a rookie, on pole position, who almost threw it all away in the first few corners, only to stage one of the most masterful comebacks we've seen in a long time.
So picture this. Antonelli is on pole, the lights go out, and it's a dreadful start. He just plummets down to 6th place. Now, for most rookies, that's it. Race over. The panic sets in. But not for him. He stayed incredibly calm, he managed his tires and his battery to perfection, and just waited for his moment to strike.
And this is where it gets historic, folks. At just 19 years old, he is now the youngest driver in the entire history of Formula One to lead the World Championship. We are seriously witnessing something special. But you have to ask, was it all skill? Because his win really hinged on a huge dose of luck that came in the form of a safety car. For anyone who's kinda new to the sport, let's break this down real quick. When there's a crash or any kind of hazard on the track, the safety car comes out. You can think of it like a pace car that slows the whole field down to a safe speed, and it bunches all the cars together, wiping out any lead a driver might have built up. And as we just saw in Japan, its timing is everything.
So what's the verdict here? Did his calm recovery prove he's a true championship threat, or was this victory all down to the luck of that safety car? Let me know what you think.
Okay, so let's move on to our second point, because this is where it gets interesting. While Mercedes was celebrating, another team had a massive breakthrough. McLaren is officially back in the fight, people.
I mean, just look at this turnaround. A few races ago, Oscar Piastri's car couldn't even finish a single lap. In Japan, he was a superstar. He led the Grand Prix, he was setting fastest laps, he looked totally in control, right before that very same safety car just wrecked his strategy. And with Lando Norris right there in 5th, this was a huge statement from the team. And a performance like this is so important because of what we call combined points. See, in Formula One, it's not just about one driver winning. To win the big prize money from the Constructors' Championship, a team needs both of its drivers scoring well weekend after weekend. It's the ultimate team game. And this right here shows exactly why McLaren is now a threat. Look how close their combined points haul for the weekend is to the winners, Mercedes, and to Ferrari. Having 2 drivers fighting at the front is the recipe for success, and it looks like McLaren has found it.
Which leads to our next big question. After seeing them lead a race on pure pace, is McLaren now the #1 challenger to Mercedes for the championship this year?
Okay, so we've seen how this safety car helped one driver and really hurt another. Now let's break down the exact moment that defined this entire race and sparked a huge controversy. Here's how it all went down. On lap 19, the race leaders, that's Piastri, Russell, and Leclerc, they all dive into the pits for fresh tires. Just 1 lap later, Oliver Behrman has a huge crash. The safety car is deployed, and this gave Antonelli, who hadn't pitted yet, a golden opportunity. So why was that so powerful? Well, it's all about getting what we call a cheap pit stop. When you stop for tires while everyone else is driving slowly on track, you lose way less time, maybe 10 seconds instead of the usual 25. It's a massive race-winning advantage, and Antonelli got it while his rivals could only watch their races slip away. It's moments like these that make F1 so dramatic. By the way, if you are finding this breakdown useful, hit subscribe on PitCrew TV right now so you never miss our Miami GP coverage coming up after the 5-week break.
And this is the debate that's just raging right now. Should the rules be changed to prevent luck from playing such a huge role in deciding a winner? Or is this unpredictable drama just a fundamental part of what makes Formula One, well, Formula One?
All right, let's shift gears and look at a team that had a solid day on paper, but where a quiet battle is brewing just under the surface. Let's talk about Ferrari. Now, at first glance, this looks fine. Both cars in the top 6, Leclerc's on the podium. Good day for the team, right? But look closer. Leclerc started 4th and moved forward to finish 3rd. Hamilton started 5th and went backwards, finishing 6th. He was basically stuck all afternoon. This growing difference between them comes down to something called race pace.
And that's not about one spectacular qualifying lap. It's about being consistently fast, lap after lap for 53 laps. It's about managing the car and tires over a long distance, and right now a pretty clear pattern is emerging between the two sides of the Ferrari garage.
So this really begs the question, is Leclerc simply outperforming his teammate? Or is this difference in pace a sign of a deeper issue at Ferrari that could quietly derail their championship hopes?
And finally, let's get to the biggest shock of the weekend. A story of a champion team that looked completely and utterly lost. Yeah, Red Bull is in a genuine crisis.
I mean, this is a track Max Verstappen has utterly dominated. He's won here 4 times before. He knows this place like the back of his hand. It's a circuit that's basically built for his driving style and Red Bull's entire philosophy. And yet, he finished 8th. 8th! After getting knocked out in Q2 and starting all the way back in 11th, he could only recover 3 places the entire race. For a driver and a team of this caliber at this circuit, that result is nothing short of a disaster. And this really puts it all into perspective. Pierre Gasly, in an Alpine that is considered a midfield car at best, finished ahead of him. That result alone is one of the biggest upsets we've seen all year, and it just highlights how much Red Bull is struggling right now.
This leaves us with a critical question for the former champions. Is their season already over before it's really even begun? Or can they possibly find a miracle fix in this upcoming 5-week break? So there you have it, 5 huge lessons from one chaotic afternoon at Suzuka. Antonelli leads the championship but got lucky with the safety car. Piastri is back and he is hungry for his first win. The safety car controversy will be debated for weeks. Ferrari's 2 drivers are heading in different directions, and Red Bull, they're in a crisis nobody predicted at the start of the season. Which of these 5 things surprised you most from the Japanese GP? Drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one. Subscribe to PitCrew TV and hit the bell so you never miss our Miami GP coverage after the 5-week break. We will see you in Miami.